Cancer changes you. But is the cancer anxiety gonna last forever? You can absolutely be free from the fear of recurrence or the anxiety around cancer. Let me show you how. Cancer anxiety is real. If you felt it, you are so not alone. But living in constant fear, that is not the only option. I'm Dr. Amy, and here's the truth. Beating cancer is only one battle, but learning how to live again without being paralyzed by fear, that's your next step. In this video, I'm sharing with you the exact tools and mindset shifts that I used in my own personal cancer experience and the tools that have worked with over 500 women inside the Cancer Freedom Program. It's time to calm your mind and break the cycle of fear. It's time to stop surviving and actually feel safe inside your body once again. Here's Cancer Freedom Mindset Coach, Coach Christine, who's gonna walk you through step by step.
Hello, Christine Elliott here, Mindset Coach with the Cancer Freedom Program. Today, I want to talk to you about stopping cancer anxiety. Simple strategies that will help with fear of recurrence, fear of cancer in the first place, whatever it is that has been bothering you. I want to help you to alleviate some of that. Now, the thing is that when it comes to anxiety, it is one of those things that is part of life. And so how do we stop cancer anxiety specifically? Well, interestingly, it's a lot of the same tips and tricks that I would recommend for any type of anxiety. But today we are going to specifically talk about cancer anxiety and the way that it is affecting you. Tip number 1. Normalize the anxiety. Perhaps you are feeling anxiety and you don't want to feel that. You don't want to feel that emotion, to have that emotion, and you think maybe perhaps that it is irrational. I am here to tell you that it is a normal and completely rational fear. You are not alone. And really, truly, studies show that 40% of cancer patients and survivors have debilitating levels of anxiety. In my work with cancer survivors, I would venture to guess that number is higher. And so you are not alone in your fear. And so hopefully that begins to help you normalize it as it is. Cancer anxiety shows up as fear of recurrence. It shows up as scanxiety or just simply waking up in a state of dread. It is not an easy thing to face, and you truly are not alone. But the more that we begin to normalize the fact that this is a completely normal reaction, the less it grows. And I'll give you an example. If I say to you, don't think of a pink elephant, what are you thinking about? Now I say, no, squash that down. Do not think about the elephant. What are you thinking about? Now try your hardest not to think about this elephant. How big has that emotion and that visualization gotten around the visualization? Anxiety and fear is the same thing. I want you to understand that as we try to push away the fear and say to ourselves, this is irrational, I shouldn't be thinking this way, etc., it grows. And in normalizing the fact that we are seeing and visualizing something, it begins to dissipate over time. So intentionally turn towards the anxiety and fear with the knowledge that in time, it will begin to dissipate. Tip number 2, use grounding. So grounding in the now to help redirect your thoughts. Erasing anxious thought pulls you out of your body and out of your experience. If we are in anxiety, we are either in the future or we are in the past. So what's the solve? Becoming grounded in the now. And one of my favorite techniques for this is the 5-4-3-2-1 method. What this method is, and you can be done absolutely anywhere. You could maybe even try it with me now. It is quite simply taking in 5 things that you can see in your environment. So if you can see 5 things in your environment, pick those out 5 times. Do you see the laundry in the basket? Do you see a mirror hanging on the wall? Choose things that you can see. From there, you're going to do 4 things you can feel. And so if you are sitting on a soft surface, can you feel the softness of that surface? If your hands are touching a desk, what does the smoothness of that desk feel like? If you are wearing soft clothing, what does the softness of that clothing feel like? And perhaps maybe the clothing feels a little bit scratchy. There's no need to judge that, just to instead Just notice. And so 4 times we are going to experience things that we feel. From there, you are going to do 3 things that you hear. And that might be the hum of the furnace. It might be the sound of a distant radio playing in the background. It may be laughter from children outside. But you are going to choose 3 things that you can hear. Next, you are going to choose 2 things that you can smell. Now, perhaps you've just had your morning coffee and you can smell the coffee in the room. Or perhaps you are burning a candle. Choose 2 smells that you can smell. Now, this is where it's starting to get tricky because the 2 smells is a little difficult. And then the last one is something you can taste. Most likely it is the last thing that you've eaten, or perhaps you haven't brushed your teeth yet. And in that experience, you will taste the stagnation. Whatever it is, choose something that you can taste. What this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method is doing is it's pulling you out of the future or the past and bringing you into the now. And in the now, everything is currently okay. At this very moment, without anything else, not the future of the fears that are coming or the past of the difficult things that have happened, but in this very moment, listening to me now, at this moment, things are okay. And so therefore, pulling yourself into the now can give you a reprieve from the difficulty that you may be facing.
Interrupting this video to show you the fastest path to putting cancer in the past. If you're ready to be done with cancer and get back to the life you love, this is for you. The Cancer Freedom Program. I've helped over 500 women break the cycle of fear, eliminate cancer side effects, and stay cancer-free for life. Now it's your turn. Click the link below to apply to work with me inside the Cancer Freedom Program. Okay, back to the video.
Tip number 3. Creating routines that give you a feeling of safety and calm. What happens most of the time when we are in anxiety around cancer is we are Googling, or we are searching, or we are ruminating on how our body feels and doing these constant scans of, oh, what's that pain? What's this thing? But instead, I would invite you to create routines that give you a sense of calm. And that could be something as simple as taking a few breaths in the morning with your cup of coffee. It could be as extensive as potentially writing a daily journal of gratitudes. Whatever routines give you a sense of calm when you are in your anxiety, helping to teach your brain that you are grounded and that not always that you need to be in fight or flight. The more habitual we become for routines of calm, the more habitual it will be for our body to be in a state of calm. So for some people, that is gardening. For others, that is being outside in nature, or for others, that might be doing a daily yoga practice. It's important not to follow the status quo of what people are doing for their health and for their sense of calm, but instead finding yours. Whatever is your routine that is going to put your body into a calmer state, get comfy with that routine and do it often. It will help to retrain your brain to be in less of a state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and instead be in a state of calm and relaxed. And then over time, that in itself will become a habit. Tip number 4, shift your inner dialogue. Your inner dialogue and your narrative about your life is running the show. It's so important to create that narrative, one that is healthy for you, as opposed to one that isn't. Because most of the pain that we go through in life is surrounded around our thoughts. And so how can you begin to shift the script of the things that you are telling yourself? Now, this can be a shift or a flip, but getting in the habit of reminding yourself when you are telling yourself your negative thoughts and beliefs and patterns can be wildly helpful. Now, I recommend, in order to identify what these beliefs and thoughts are, taking a piece of paper and a pen and taking a few moments to jot down what you believe are your habitual thoughts. So your habitual thoughts may be, my cancer will recur. I will not get through this cancer journey alive. Whatever it is that you are telling yourself daily, day in, day out, many times a day, chances are once you sit down with that piece of paper and pen, you will begin to see it with more clarity what those short sentences are that you're telling yourself. And then on the other side of the paper, I invite you to shift that thought. So if the thought is, I am fearful that my cancer will recur, then you can either shift it or flip it. And the shift might be, if my cancer recurs, then I will be a different, more prepared person when I go through this again, and I will deal with it then. And that empowers you and shows you that if it were to recur, that you are not the same person that went through it the first time. You are stronger, you are more powerful, you understand more, and you know how to advocate for yourself, as opposed to the person who is maybe a little bit more in fight or flight at the time and didn't have those skills. So that is a shift. A flip might be, what if my cancer doesn't come back? And the question might be after that, is all of this rumination really worth it? These are different ways that you can shift or flip the repetitive beliefs. And then it's simply getting into the habit of each time you have that thought or you speak that thought, because you've written it down, because you understand it, because you have seen this before. It's just like when you buy a new red car and now you see red cars everywhere. There's a part of your brain that now that you are aware of it, you will see it. You will notice it. And then you can take the opportunity to shift or flip those thoughts to be more empowering ones, because our brain will habitually do the same things over and over again. If the thought is, what if my cancer recurs? That creates a whole wealth of fear, and we'll do it again and again, daily and day in and day out. But if instead you create a habit of, what if my cancer doesn't recur? And that feels true to you after a period of time and practice, then your new thought will be replaced with this one, causing you so much less anxiety. And my final, most important tip number 5, which is, not always will you be able to employ all of these strategies. They're helpful and they're simple. But most of all, the most important strategy in your toolkit is grace. It's okay if you do not always rock this. It's okay if some days you are just surviving. It's okay if some days you are hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, and you just do not have the ability to employ some of these tips. I invite you to give yourself grace. You've either been through or potentially seen or potentially are going through some really hard stuff. And so in those moments when you aren't exactly killing it, I invite you to give yourself the same love and compassion that you would give another person in a similar situation. How often do we tell ourselves, oh man, I totally ruined that, and I did so bad there, and this person must think I'm crazy, or whatever the thoughts are. And yet, if you knew someone in the same situation, you would tell them to have grace, that it's okay, that you're going through a lot. There's no reason to feel bad about any experiences that you're going through, whether they are serving you or not serving you. That you would have this love and compassion for this person, realizing that, oh my gosh, cancer is hard. And so I'm going to remind you now, with all of these wonderful tips and tricks that are really, really helpful and can absolutely serve you, that some days you're just not going to rock it. And on those days, I invite you to have compassion for yourself, because cancer's hard.
Okay, so now that you know how to stop cancer anxiety, the next thing that you need to hear is my warning about Facebook cancer support groups. This is what I had to learn the hard way, and I do not want you to make the same mistake. Click the link here and I'll show you what's next.